July 24th. I wake up early with a bad feeling and lift my head. Rondell asleep in the same spot. Mong down by the tide taking off his sweatshirt. Mong in an ocean trance and taking off his shoes and socks and t-shirt. Here's the skinny Chinese boy in jeans stepping into the ocean. Right away I know what's happening. I push up off the ground quick and then just stand there thinking, head pounding and heart racing. My lips swollen to twice its size, face sore. I step over Rondell and start down the sand toward the water. Yo, Mong, I'm calling out. Yo, I'm calling this out because it's just hit me what it is I know. Yo, Mong. He turns, looks at me, knee deep, dark bags under his eyes and ribs showing through ghost white Asian skin. He hasn't slept all night. Yo, man, I say, what's going on? Where are you going? Swimming, he says. I rub my eyes and look at his face again. I know he's lying. My head is killing me and I feel like I might be sick. And then suddenly I am. I lean over and spray puke into a pile of fly-infested seaweed, coughing and spitting, throat burning. I look up and Mong's watching me. But he's not really watching me. He's empty. He's already done this thing in his head. We look at each other. The tide reaches his shoes, picks one of them up, carries it a few feet toward Mong and sets it down. Rondell wanders down to us, yawning. What y'all doing? He says. Mong says he's going swimming, I say. Swimming? That's what he says. Mong stares at me and Rondell and then turns around and continues moving into the ocean. You going in your jeans? Rondell calls out. Mong doesn't turn around. Ain't they gonna get all wet? Rondell shouts. He turns to me and asks softer. Ain't they gonna get all wet, Mexico? I turn to Mong, shout, You gonna answer Rondell or what, man? Mong doesn't answer or even turn around. I take a couple steps toward him into the water. One of my shoes gets soaked and I step back. My heart is in my throat and now I have no idea what to do. Everything is out of control. Mong, I shout, but he keeps walking toward the waves. A small one breaks into his waist. The power of the moving water makes it seem like he's walking in place for a few seconds. Then it calms and he's moving forward again. A bigger wave breaks right into his chest, knocks him over. He gets up, wiping the water from his face and continues walking. Rondell sneezes, said, He's gonna get all jeans all wet, Mexico. I turn to Rondell. He's not going swimming, man. Don't you get it? What you mean, he says. I turn back to Mong. He dives under the surface and now he's swimming. I'm stuck watching him, can't move or breathe barely. My head pounding in my ears and buzzing with the sound of the giant ocean, 70% of the Earth's surface. My stomach turning over and dropping out, and Rondell's voice in the background saying, What you mean, Mexico? What's happening, Mexico? Where's Mong going, Mexico? Mexico, Mexico. I don't have any answers. Mong is swimming out to sea now, farther and farther, and it's the strangest thing, a perfect morning around him. A sky with no clouds and crisp air, but not really cold. Birds soaring together in packs over the water, over Mong, making calls to each other and everything around us. The sun climbing over Mong's big blue house behind us and touching warmth on the back of my neck. He's going out too far, Rondell says. I nod, but don't move. We stay watching like this forever, see him swim, skinny arm coming up and then slapping down, and then the other one coming up and slapping down. Out past the waves now, past the kelp beds, until I can barely see his shaved head bobbing up and down above the water's surface. And then there's nothing, just ocean and waves, dark green and gray, kelp floating in packs past the small swells, the birds white and flying just above the surface, sometimes going in with their beaks, salt in the air and on my face, and Rondell sneezing. No more shaved head. Still, we don't move, or talk now, or even make a sound. We just search for Mong and find nothing. After an hour, I wake up and turn to Rondell. We look at each other, confusion on his face. I tell him, come on. He follows me back to our stuff, and we pack up in silence, shoving things back in our bags and shifting them around and zipping up. Then Rondell is staring at me, saying, Mexico, pointing to my chest. I look down at myself, and I can't believe it. Mong's brown tooth on a string around my neck. I look up at Rondell, his face concerned and so sad. I look back down at the tooth. When did this happen? I felt nothing all night. What will we do? I let the tooth fall back around my neck and pick up my bag. I start down the beach, south, in the direction of Mexico. Right away, Rondell follows. We walk beside each other near the water, carrying our bags on our shoulders, not talking. I concentrated on the sand in front of me and kept my legs moving forward. I was like the guy in the Marines marching into war. He wouldn't want to do it or not want to do it. It's just what they told him. I looked at the sand and kept moving and didn't think about anything else. We passed a group of people with swim caps stretching by the water, talking. They smiled, told us good morning. We passed a little boy and his mom doing a sand castle. We passed a jogger and a lifeguard truck parked with its door open, the man inside pouring coffee from a thermos into a cup. We walked for hours before I remembered Rondell. I had to tell him, I had to explain, but when I turned to him and opened my mouth to speak, I saw tears running down his face. Big, thick Rondell tears. He was crying without a sound. He was hiccuping. When he saw me looking, he turned away. He understood. I looked straight again. I didn't know where we were going or how we were going to get there or why. None of these things came to my head. I just knew to keep moving forward and to look at the sand. I had to do just like the Marine marching into war. Keep marching. Don't think about it. Look at the sand. These are your orders. This is what you're supposed to do.